What's up, family, and welcome back to the channel. I know camera may look a little bit weird. It's because I'm recording on my iPad. Just because I don't know how long this video is, and I'm going to a concert in a couple of days, so I like to have storage on my phone to record the concert. Anyways, I kind of wanted to be like a quick update video, although it may not be quick, just because spring break. So literally for for most of this week I have done nothing. But the one thing I did do gave me insight, or lit my thinking on fire, I guess. I don't know. And so I kind of want, once again, like I said, do a quick little update, how I've been doing, how this school semester has been going currently, and then step onto a little soapbox, philosophical soapbox, whatever you want to call it, and then go from there. So first, um, this semester has definitely been very different than last semester. Obviously, I feel like first semester was more of the adjustment period, getting used to being in vet school, getting used to classes, things of that nature. I think this semester feels more like, hey, I'm actually in it. I'm here, this, that, and third. Um, Classes, uh, I mean, they're not terrible overall. Classes are going pretty well. However, there is a lot of differences and changes that have kind of occurred um, between last semester and this semester that has kind of changed the outcome of how some of these classes are even taught, who's teaching these classes, the format of these classes, things of that nature. And so that can be a little challenging, especially when you're getting professors that may not always be catered to your learning style, and it can be a little difficult for you to kind of focus in stuff like that for class, which I'm not gonna lie is kind of where I am right now. So definitely working on that. What I also plan on doing, um, real quick for the channel, this is a quick side note that just popped up in my head. Well, what I plan on doing for the channel, since right now I just haven't figured out how I'm going to make like full length videos or whatever the case may be for these, for me to post on my channel. What I'm going to do is the stuff that I'm posting on my TikTok, i.e., um, any labs I've posted there, this, that, and the third, any other clips that I have that are just like in my phone, whatever the case may be. I think I'm just going to take those and then upload them here as well. Whether I make it a little compilation or post them as shorts, and then once I have enough, compile them into a video and do a little compilation that way. Just so that way, I'm still actively engaging and posting on YouTube, even if it's not in the way that I personally would prefer and or was planning on posting in the first place. But just something that keeps this active as best as possible, while still navigating school and still trying to understand the best way to go about trying to post and um, still, I guess, be entertaining to an extent. Um, with that being said, actually that's a perfect segue into like my little soapbox moment. So um, when did I? So one of the things I did, or like the main important thing I did this break so far, was, well, outside of getting my hair done, which I got that done today. I think it looks nice. But outside of that, the real important thing that I did was I cleaned my closet. Um, and as one may think with the um, ever so lovely pressure of vet school and the amount of stuff that you're doing, and truthfully you're getting home depending on the day 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, um, and it feels like all you're doing is kind of like studying. It can be a little difficult at times to prioritize things like cleaning, at least for me, and maybe that's just a me thing. And for me, it's not necessarily that my room is just like atrocious, dirty, whatever the case may be. It's not that. It's just for me. I've learned in the process of me cleaning my closet that, one, I do have a lot of clothes. Dear God, I have way too many clothes, probably. But two, I was making, I was deferring to basically just kind of like throwing stuff into my closet, throwing my clothes at least into my closet, to keep from having to like constantly take the effort and time to fold them up and put them up and stuff like that. And so that way I could just quickly pop in my closet, grab some stuff, pop out, throw that on, or grab some stuff off hangers, iron it real quick, and go about my business. But as I was going through the process of actually cleaning out my closet, I don't know if this was just something that God placed on me, or whatever the case may be, but it was just, for me, my thought process was on the aspect of intentionality, right? And your intention to do things versus like just saying you're going to do something, if that makes sense. So for me, it's just like growing up, right? A lot of the intention behind things were shaped and molded by parent guidance and direction. So it's like, hey, your parents want you to, do the dishes. Their intention is for you to do the dishes. They make that intention known, and then you follow up by doing the dishes, or clean your room, clean the bathroom, things of that nature. And and as I'm starting to like kind of recount everything and reflect, as you get older, obviously that intention is, or that mold of intention is then reduced on the parent side, because you're getting older, you're becoming more independent, learning how to live life on your own. So then at some point in time, all that intentionality is placed upon you. And honestly, it's probably within that time that you're going off to college, going through undergrad, or for those who maybe in that process of being in school, they were still, staying with their parents, or whatever the case may be. Maybe that's starting to manifest fully as you're getting out of undergrad, getting into a job, or even going on to maybe a master's program, or for me in this situation, vet school. And so now being in a situation where it's like, hey, like, you don't have, not saying that I needed somebody to be like, hey, you need to do this, but now being in that position to where you don't have anybody to give you that pointed intention, it is all on you, right? And so it's like, now you have to be like, hey, I will do this, or I'm going to do this, and then you have to make sure that you follow up on it. And so I think intention is important in pretty much every aspect of your life, right? The intention to obviously clean, or the intention to learn, the intention to study, um, and the intention to approach somebody in a friendly manner, or in the intents of hopefully sparking a relationship, right? And so, one, you have that moment where you're like, hey, this is what I intend to do, and now you got to make it happen. And obviously there's like things that impact that as well. Like, what is your motivation behind those things? Or is there a motivating force that aids in your intention? Because I honestly, another honest moment, I guess, this semester I mentally exhausted, right? It's just you're getting so much information throughout the day, right? And then you come back to your apartment and you should be like going over the information that you learned. You should be studying. Um and like right now it's just like I don't have I don't have the desire to study, or I don't have most days I don't have the intention or the intent to study, because at some point there needs to be time to obviously decompress. There needs to be time to, I hope that's not in the video because they loud with that leaf blower. Anyways, you need time to recoup, be yourself before you just spiral fully and go down this path where it's like you're pooped, you're burnt out, right? And so it's like going back and reflecting over patterns and things that I've done is like you can see either the intent to do something or lack of intent or the intent not to do something, right? And so it's like that intention impacts every aspect of your life. Whether you go talk to that person, whether you go study for that exam that you have that you probably should be studying for, but sometimes that doesn't happen. People don't study. Sometimes you just worry about it like it is what it is. And I think the moment people, or the moment that's grasped, the moment you kind of understand that idea, allows you to kind of shift how you kind of approach most, if not everything. From, hey, I'm gonna do this, but it may be like a lazy version of it, to now I'm attacking this with the intention that, hey, I said I was going to do this. This is my plan. This is how it's going to get done. And that intent drives excellence. At least I would believe that intent would drive excellence, right? So you're intending to do this. You're intending to get an A in your class, or you're intending to do whatever. You're intending to hit a new PR. Things of that nature, where you're putting energy and focus behind, so that way you can then get a desired result. And obviously, once again, kind of like I mentioned earlier, we could talk about what role or impact does motivation have behind aiding in your intent, or can you still intently do something when you don't have necessarily the motivation to do so? But I think that's kind of like the benefit of life. Not everything is an easy yes or no answer. A lot of it requires, a lot of it requires experience to live, to go through um objects, trials, tribulations, that allows you to gain the answers to that allows you to shift and truly mold your thought process, your mind, how you intend to approach things moving forward. And then I think the biggest thing is sticking with that, right? And it's okay to grow, it's okay to change, but at the bulk, or at the core, at the root, the identity in which you attack something, or I feel like the way in which you go about living your life, just still maintain the same overall. So yeah, that was my little soapbox moment. I feel like that probably, hopefully that made sense. Hopefully that came across as like a sensical thought. Um, a lot of times, and I don't know if y'all can tell when I post these videos, a lot of times um, I sit down, I don't have like a script or anything. It's all based off of like the current thinking in my head, or things that I've already thought about. And as I'm talking about it, sentences form and things of that nature. And I think even the intent aspect is probably why I don't I post like consistently inconsistent, right? I post every now and then. I post here or there, but that's because at the end of the day, I've gotten away from wanting the stuff that I post to be perfect. Because I've gone and saying like I don't view myself as a content creator. I view myself as somebody who is documenting aspects of his life and posting it on social media platforms for people to see someone that may look like them in that space doing that thing, or if someone just wants to see other people living and enjoying their life, they see that as well, right? But also I think for me the intent behind it, um, I don't want to just sit here, kind of like this video. I don't want to just sit here and give nonsensical BS videos and just post stuff just to post. I want them to be directed. Obviously, once again, this channel's intent was for the documentation of my life through vet school, how I grow, things of that nature, as well as giving, hopefully, giving helpful tips and tricks to um, those who are up and coming and want to go into veterinary medicine and don't necessarily know how to start, where to look, um, and how to, successfully get in. Because unfortunately, vet med is kind of very niche in the sense of if you don't know anyone in the industry, it's hard to understand where you can get resources from. It's hard to understand where you can go to get help. And so I kind of want to be that help if at all possible. Um, so yeah, I think for me it's just like when I post, it is the intent for me to post. Now, granted, like when it comes to some of my other platforms, some of the stuff I post, I just post, just to post, or it's a thing that I thought of because once again, kind of getting my thoughts out there on aspects of life, this, that, and third. But at the root of it, it's still an intention. It is still something I felt was meaningful enough to share with multiple people. Even if it doesn't reach a high number of people, even if it only reaches 50 people, right? At the end of the day, it still reached people outside of me, outside of the circle that I may run in. And hopefully it helps stir the brains and other people and have them thinking in certain aspects as well. So yeah, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. So once again, don't be afraid to comment on this video. Give me ideas on what exactly y'all want to see, or any aspects of the channel that you want to see improvement on. Um, like the video if you liked it. Share. Obviously, once again, like I said, the goal is to um, help be an olive branch, bring people to um, or get aid for people who want to come into this field, especially people that look like me. So yeah, share, comment, like, subscribe, whatever the case may be, whatever you feel led to do. And with that being said, I'll catch y'all in the next video. Peace.